So I have nothing on my face right now except for a moisturizer, a Clinique moisturizer, I believe, that I put on, oh my gosh, probably a couple hours ago. So I do want to make sure I use a primer. I'm going to use the new Urban Decay Self-Adjusting Primer, Complexion Primer, just so that we can make sure that everything is relatively even. Foundation we're going to use today is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is my favorite. This is the one that I like to use all the time. So I figured it'd probably be a good measure of how well each of these kind of works against one another. So this is the Makeup Eraser silicone spongy thingy. It's not the Silisponge, which I know is the like main one, but it's pretty much the exact same thing. It's a little silicone thingy right here. It feels so much weirder than I thought. For some reason I thought it was going to feel like one of those bra inserts. It feels a lot harder than a bra insert. It kind of reminds me of like a stress ball. It's got, you know, this shape, and then of course we've got my not super clean beauty blender, and we're going to see which one is going to work better. I'm going to do this side of my face with the silicone applicator and then this side with my beauty blender. So let's start off with we'll start off with the beauty blender because it's what I know. Now usually when I apply this, I use a beauty oil or something to kind of, I don't want to say break it down so much, but to make it just move easier, because this is a really, really thick foundation. I don't think thick is the right word. It's very pigmented. Sometimes using the beauty oil, like the Farsali one is the one I like, the Rose Gold Elixir one, sometimes can just help to make it move easy, but this is actually moving really nicely on top of this Urban Decay primer. So that's nice. And so this was one pump of the product. So we also can kind of get an idea how far one pump of the product goes with the silicone sponge, which the idea there is that you're not going to waste as much product. So we can kind of see how much went into the beauty blender and if it actually does give you that same flawless finish, because that's pretty flawless with really minimal effort. All right, so now let's try the other side. Silisponge. Okay, this kind of feels like it's awful. Definitely is not, the product isn't getting absorbed. Obviously, it has nowhere to go, but it's weird. It doesn't really feel like it's, I don't know. It's definitely different. It definitely kind of just feels like it doesn't have that same feel that the Beauty Blender has, which, I mean, could be just because I've gotten so used to the Beauty Blender, but the Beauty Blender feels like a makeup product, where this just kind of, it feels like I'm hitting myself with like a fish or something. I feel like I don't know how to blend it around. I just feel like I'm hitting myself. Really what it's feeling like right now, and you can tell like you obviously would need to use a lot less product on this side. That definitely is a plus, but it doesn't feel like it's, like this looks like it's blended into my skin, right? This is just sitting on top. And again, that could definitely be because I use the same amount of product, and the whole claim to fame with this is that you have to use less. But I feel like with areas like around my nose or underneath my eyes, I'm not really sure how to go about that, because the Beauty Blender and brushes, yes, they may absorb product, but it's also giving you more of that texture to kind of blend it into your skin, where this is just kind of, I feel like this is no different than if I use the plastic thing. You know, I saw someone on Instagram who had taken their Beauty Blender and covered it in plastic wrap. It really kind of feels like the same thing. Like you could pretty much use a water bottle, roll this on your face. It doesn't feel like it's anything special. So it did take longer, but the coverage, you can see the coverage, it's the same product, so that's also part of it. So, oh God, I was just gonna say both sides look pretty decent, but over on the side I use the Beauty Blender on, it does feel like it's sunk into my skin a lot more, and if I touch it, it's not pulling up. This side, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a ton of product that is coming up, and I think that's just because I use the same amount of product, and I guess the idea would be not to do that. But I also do wonder if, because there's not a texture like with a Beauty Blender or with a brush, that it's just kind of sitting on top of your skin and not really blending into it. Kind of like, you know, if you used to apply eyeshadow, something that was flat and had no bristles or anything like that, it would just sit there, you know, it wouldn't be being pressed into your skin. That's kind of what this is reminding me of. The other thing too, I guess I could test would be blending, you know, like a cream contour. That's, I mean, when I use my beauty blender, that's what I also use it for, is I'll use it for a cream contour, cream highlight, to blend around my nose. So now I'm curious if this is gonna work for that as well. So I guess we could try that too. For my contour, I have the Sculptor from Tarte. So I just like to kind of like that. And then I also will just kind of put it around my nose. And then my highlight, I have Celestial from Cover FX. They're custom cover drops. I'm not going to use that yet. I'm going to do the contouring first. So with my beauty blender, same old, kind of just patting on top of it. Voice just sort of nicely blends it out. Same with over here. This usually is enough. So let's try it with the silicone one. Yeah. It's a lot more intense. I feel like it's weird to get used to. This side is a lot darker, so if I did want to have that kind of the same amount of darkness, I do have to add a little bit more with the Beauty Blender. As far as the Cover FX drops, let's try that. So I'll add a little bit less on this side just because I don't want that to get crazy. Beauty Blender. Sometimes I use the fact that the Beauty Blender absorbs product, because this is so intense that a lot of the times I'll go on, you know, a different side that doesn't have, that I haven't been using to blend this out, just to get rid of a little bit of it so that it kind of can buff it out. So with the silicone one, you don't really get that unless, you know, you do it and then you wipe it away, I guess. I actually need more on the silicone side. So overall, really it boils down to personal preference. I think I definitely like my Beauty Blender more than this silicone. I don't want to call it a sponge because it's like not a silicone sponge. Silicone applicator. I just don't really like the way this feels. It feels like I could honestly be using anything that has a little bit of give like that. I do like that this has that bounce aspect to it. Even using a brush, I like that it's gonna blend everything out. Does that make, if that makes sense? This is not so much blending as I feel like it's just kind of, like I said, I feel like I could find one of Violet's toys that has this same kind of little bit of give, where it's not like, it's definitely not as squishy as this, but it still has that give, and I feel like that would do the same thing. So bottom line, you know, if you have the opportunity to try it, I don't think it's bad to try it. You definitely do use less product, but I really don't feel like it's doing much as far as really getting it to sink in your skin. I can see that I feel like this side might end up not wearing as well just because it was, well, now it feels okay, but it just didn't feel like it was sinking into my skin so much as sitting on top of it, which is not really what I want with my foundation. There you go, there's my quick look at the Beauty Blender versus the silicone sponge. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, if you've tried both, what your preference is, and make sure that you like this video, subscribe, click that bell notification, and I'll see you guys next time.